Okay, we are going to be talking about comparing and ordering numbers tomorrow. So we want to look at a few things. The first thing I want to talk about are your signs. And in second grade, you learn that if the two dots come first and then the one dot comes next, this is a greater than sign. When you read from left to right. And so whenever I read and I come to the two dots first, that means I have a greater than sign. And it's just the opposite. Whenever I have a less than sign, I come to a one dot first, and then I have my two dots next. So this would be a less than sign. And then, of course, you have the equal to sign also. Okay, so when we have two numbers, let's say we have this number right here, and we want to compare it to this number, we want to go through and we want to say, okay, this is a 2 and this is a 2, so they're the same. But I have to stop and I have to think of the word value. Value is how much that digit is worth in that spot. And this 2 and this 2 are both worth 2,000, which is the same. Later on, I'm going to show you one that's not. Then you come to the next digit. This is worth 100, and this is worth 300. Which is larger? Which would you rather have, $100 or $300? And 300 is larger, so I'm going to put my two dots by my 300, my one dot by my little one, and connect it. And this is a less than sign. Okay, so that one was pretty simple. Let's look at this one. I want to compare 4,328 to 997. If I am lazy bones and I start thinking, oh my goodness, 9 is bigger than 4. So I have my sign going this way. I see something wrong with that though. This is not a 9. This is a 900 and this is a 4,000. So therefore you have to think of the value. Ooh, misspelled that. You have to think of the value whenever you are looking at which one's larger. Therefore you have to know the place. So 4,000 is much larger than 900. It gets two dots, this one gets one, and it is a greater than sign. Okay, let's say we have we have 32,145. We want to compare it to 32,138. On this one, it's a little different because you have to look at this one, look at the first digits. This is in the 10 thousands place, so it is worth, the value is worth 30,000. This one's also in the 10,000, so it's also worth 30,000. So I'm going to go to the next digit. 2,000, 2,000. They're the same. So I've got to go to the next digit. 100, 100. They're the same. I've got to go to the, next digit. This is worth 40, and this is worth 30. The tens place is the one that finally told me which one was greater. And that means that this one gets the two dots, this one gets the one, and 32,145 is greater than 32,138. Okay, so the next lesson we're going to look at is when we order numbers. And this is very similar to comparing numbers, but you're going to have a list of more than two numbers. So I might have 3,145. This is called a semicolon. and it is used to separate numbers. If I had comma, 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 it would look like one huge number. So I put a semicolon. It kind of looks like a J. I might have 3,389 and 3,099. And I want to order these from greatest to least. And you've got to remember that now that you are in 3rd grade, you don't want to say biggest to littlest. You want to say greatest to least. So I'm looking for the largest number. Remember to look at their values. All of these have 3,000. So I have to go to the next place, which is the hundreds place. This has 100, 300, and 0 hundreds. So the greatest would be this one right here. 3,389 would be first. I'm going to mark that out after I'm done so it doesn't get in my way. I still have 3,000 and 3,000. Now I have 100 or 0 hundred. Which one would come next? Yep, the 100. So that one would be second, which leaves me with the least being 3,099. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit tricky here. If we have the numbers 44,172, 9,167, and 82,144. And I want to order these from least to greatest. Ooh, greatest. That's not it. Greatest. Okay, so I'm looking for the least. I'm looking for the least. As I look at this, my eyes want to say that this one right here is going to be the least. But does anybody see the problem with that? This is in the 10,000s place, which means it has a value of 40,000. This, however, is in the 1,000s place, which means it has a value of 9,000, which is much less than this one right here. You cannot just look at that first digit. You have to think of its value. So I have this one is my smallest, 9,167. Mark it out. Then I have 40,000 right here, and I have 80,000. So 44,172 is next. And then I have my last one, 82,144. Let me show you a little trick if this is tricky for you. I'm going to erase this. Oh, got to erase too much. Okay, if I order these, oh goodness, what is that? If I order these, or line them up, maybe I should say instead of order, if I line these up vertically and I put my commas in order, or in line, I guess, it makes it really easy. Watch this. This is a cool trick. Okay, look at this. I have, these are the digits I'm comparing. What do you think should go right there? There's nothing there, so I could put a 0. So now I'm looking for, I lost my L, the least. Here I have 4, 0, or 8. Obviously this one right here is the least, so it would go first. And then this one right here would be next. It would go second, and this would go third. If you're ever having trouble, I want you to use this strategy. I want you to use the strategy of line up your numbers, and going up and down is what we call vertically. Oh, there's some cursive. Line them up vertically. Okay,